tonight if we have public. So, right now, stand. I'm going to ask be led in the Pledge of Allegiance. Mission statement is to graduate college and career-ready students with the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and behaviors to succeed and common good. So right now, I just need to
Madam President, I move to approve the agenda as amended.
motion to agenda by Williams, second Frazier. All those in favor?
Aye.
Forward to item number 4.1. It Student Board Representative Aiden Gallegos.
So I was asked to conduct an interview with Argus about how the first week of school went. I could just say it went awesome according to him. In my opinion, it was also pretty awesome too. It's the first I have seen this before. So all I could say that out of his 7 years at the school, out of his for his upcoming 7 year, he said that it was an amazing year by one of the best years that he has ever seen in the beginning. He said that the ninth graders and me, including in the peer mediation program, actually formed the ninth graders to actually get to their classes, and we were on point, on spot, with everything. And another thing is there was nobody in the hallway skipping or anything. The hallways are completely cleared, and they were actually in classes with new programs going on. And those programs might be the new hall passes that we're doing. Every class has 3 hall passes during the quarter, and these hall passes will be able to tell people that they're able to actually use the bathroom, and we are stopping using Minga. And instead of Minga, we're using in-person passes so that we can show the administrators we have permission to be in the hall. If not, the admins will walk into your class or give you after-school detention, which is going to be the new tardy policy that's coming up. The new tardy policy is going to tell those people, give the warning to stop stop being in the hallways. And when they're not in the hallways, they're basically going to get a warning, and then the second time they're going to get after-school detention that they will have to serve.
So, Aiden, how do our friends who might get these after-school detentions or might be the wanderers in the hallway feel about this process?
So a long time ago, my brother has tested how in-school suspension does to students. And ISS has personally affected students to think, man, I don't even want to do this anymore. While out-of-school suspension will just give them a break. They'll have a bed to relax to, and they will just go to bed asleep and say, oh, I don't got to go to school tomorrow, so I'll just sleep in. But this will tell the students that I don't want to be here. I actually legitimately just want to go home with my parents. So this will just tell students that I don't want to do this anymore. I'll stay in class.
Thank you so much, Aiden. Does anyone have any additional questions or?
Just like to conducting such an interview with principal, and he definitely do the assignment.
Can I just ask a question for Aiden? Can you explain what you did to help with the ninth graders coming? Because it's kind of we're still developing ninth grade academy, but you were part of that, I know, this year. So what did that look like when our new freshmen came to high school?
So at first, the new freshmen are all going to be very, like, I don't even want, who are these people? Who are these people from all these different middle schools? Our goal is to make them feel comfortable in the school system, that everything's going to be all right, and we're going to make them feel special in the system. And then during freshman orientation, we'll send them to groups, and in our groups, we will do icebreakers to help them make new friends in the groups. And in the groups that we're going to be doing, it's like simple games for them to get to know each other, their names. So in the future, later days, they would get to know each other's names and say, oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. I remember you from the group. How was that? And then we'll talk about their experience and then build a relationship that might last all 4 years in high school. And another thing we do is when they actually go see which classes they're doing, instead of them getting lost in track and saying to a teacher, they come up to us and tell us, can you walk us to our class and help us figure out where to go? And we help them out, find them where their class is, instead of just them being lost in the hallways. And the freshman hallway itself is all classes. Most of the students have classes in there, so it's really easy just to walk from one class to the other class. It's not that long, and it would also prevents a lot of tardies and a lot of people skipping.
I just want to commend Mr. Gallegos on the yellow shirt that he's wearing. It matches my shirt. But on a serious note, thank you so much for that presentation you did in meeting and exceeding our expectations. All right, we are moving along. We are now at item 5. It is the board consent agenda. We have item 5.1 is the approval of minutes from the work session June 6, 2024 board meeting, June 20th, 2024, and special meeting July 18th, 2024. Item 5.2, OE8 Asset Protection Monitoring Report by Mrs. Corey Arcaresi, CFO. Item 5.3, OE5, Learning Environment Treatment of Students Indicator Report, Dr. Mike Claudio, Assistant Superintendent of Personnel Support. And item 5.4, OE12, Student Discipline Indicator Report, Dr. Mike Claudio, Assistant Superintendent of Personnel Support Services. I will make mention of the fact that in previous board work sessions, we have vetted all of these monitoring and indicator reports. And so with this being said, right now I just need item 5.5, recommended motion to approve.
Madam President, I move to approve the board consent agenda items as stated.
Second.
Motion to approve consent agenda items by Mr. Williams, second by Dr. Pamela Robinson. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So moved. We're now at item 6. No, it's only 6:13 p.m., but you have a comment? Okay. We will come back and see if anyone else comes in. So we're now at 7. Superintendent consent agenda. We have 7.1, the July and August 2024 personnel reports, comparison reports. So again, 7.2, I just need a recommended motion.
Madam President, I move to approve the superintendent consent agenda items as stated.
I second.
Motion to approve the superintendent consent agenda by Mr. Williams, second by Mrs. Salazar. All those in favor? Aye.
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 So moved. Forward. to item 8, monitoring the board performance. And Ms. Rambide, if corrections or additions?
Not this time. Yes, I'm sorry. The YMCA event is coming up, and so is the peak education as well. YMCA is on September 26th.
And I'm going, and we have an extra ticket, so who wants to go with me? It's at Boot Barn. Mhm. And I know that a lot of you have been teachers before the teachers started, on the first day of school, out to school, so our work plan doesn't reflect all of that, but I want to thank you from the staff. It's noticed when you're at the schools. They appreciate you being there to support them. They appreciate seeing your face at their carnivals, at all of the events. So please, I know that takes a lot of time out of your day, but it matters for them as well as the kids. Thank you on behalf of our school.
Thank you so very much. And
Right, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that she's sitting right here. And had their open house today and moved back into Panorama. And been 18 months. 18 months, and we are so excited to see sixth graders there tomorrow and everyone there on Monday.
I might have some permission attitude. Like for me. And tell us about the new.
Thank you, Board. I am so excited and pleased to be in an amazing building. I might get a little emotional. As you may already know that we were displaced rather quickly. What was to be a 3-month renovation ended up being 8. And throughout that time, we had to do a lot of compromising with space and to walk back in. And over the last 3 days, my staff has unpacked and created a space that we can truly lead in and learn in. And it was a beautiful sight today to see so many of our families who have been in the district for years, whose families have come through that school, and it's never looked like that. I had so many people coming back. We had Jean Schumar, who was a 25-year library tech, came in and saw the new media space, and I thought we were gonna have to wheel her out because she about passed out. Our media center is top of the line. Our learning spaces truly feel like places where our kids can have a fresh opportunity. The color schemes are beautiful. We ended up putting up all of our student artwork from last year's art show. And so walking in, there is already student work on the walls, and we haven't even had a kid in our building yet. And it's just been a beautiful opportunity. I am very honored to be leading that building. And I promise you and Miss Corey that I won't break anything or spend any more money because I was told we bonded out the bond. But I just want to say thank you to everybody, the leaders here who have helped us when we were over at what is now known as the Pam Robinson Educational Center, when it was just the hills. Everybody, this is a collective win for the entire district. This has been, I think Panorama willed itself into hey, we were just gonna have a little bit of a facelift, and Panorama said, no, we're gonna we're going to do the whole thing. So sorry about that, everybody. But and I'm going to say that our academics are also showing up to be shiny and new, just like our building. And so I am extremely proud of it. I want to invite you. We are having our clap in tomorrow at, I believe we're going to start clapping students in at around 7:30. And if you can't make that, I would love to have you at our first family night on August 29th from 5 to 7. It's going to be a community resource night. We'll have pizza. We're going to have barbers there. We're going to have Deerfield Community Center. We're going to have healthcare providers there, mobile dentist, eye care. We're just really trying to show the community now that we're back, we're really going to be back. So thank you for this opportunity to speak about my school. And are there any questions, comments, or valid concerns? Thank you very much, and go D2.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
just have something. Dr. Berhansel, I want to say how much I appreciate the additional investment in Panorama Middle School. Because yes, in the beginning, it was just going to be a facelift. But our students are so important that I think somebody was looking for money where I could find it. And so
Thank you very. We're going ahead to item 8.2. Legislative updates by Dr.
You are all aware, but just a reminder, special session coming up next week, next week, to look at property tax that will affect school funding. So we are watching that closely. But we know that it's going to decrease school funding, but it will take some measures off the ballot that would have decreased it by $5 billion. So we're going to take a hit. We know we'll take a hit, but it will be a less hit than $5 billion. But we will have to be very aware of what's happening and advocate for that. The other thing is we are currently, a few of us are working on a project of an equity study for school finance. So they are working with districts and schools and leaders to build what should a school look like. If money were not a factor, what really would it take to educate kids? Not surprising, our district has been tapped into for multiple people to help because they're looking at what if we're serving students who don't speak English? What if we have special education? What if we have students in poverty, which our district provides all of those amazing services. So they really are kind of asking, what would it ideally look like for you to have a school if funding was not a barrier? And that's just been an exciting thing because in education, I've never been told just imagine what you want, just build it. Now, not that that's going to be funded like that, but it's going to help tell the story of how underfunded we truly are, particularly in schools that have high poverty rates, high SPED rates, and high CLDE rates. I think you heard this before, but our CLDE students typically outperform their peers. Our NEP students, meaning no English when they come to us, and that could be kindergarten through 12th grade coming with no English. That used to be about 20% of our CLDE students. That's now half. So that impact is being felt throughout the districts, and administrators are probably nodding because they have these friends in their class, but this is their first time in an English environment. And kindergarten, as you can imagine, much easier to be a NEP or a non-English student in kindergarten because everyone's kind of learning English in kindergarten, but by the time you get to middle or high school and you don't know English, there's a lot of the cultural, the social, all those barriers. And so we're really working to support those students, and they're not just Spanish. So if they were just Spanish, we know we could do a much better job, but we have a lot of different language coming, so we have to support those.
how many languages again?
Changes, but we're around 50. And I like to say 50 and 18 square miles because that's a lot of languages in a small area, not spread out like some of the bigger metros. It's very overpopulated with language, so that's a lot for our schools to support.
did not have any public comments, so I just wanted to state that for the record. So we are moving ahead, and we are at the end of our meeting. So I wanted to, again, final comments if anyone has, but I did want to say congratulations on those of you who worked so hard and so diligently on the 150th anniversary celebration. I think you deserve to give yourself a hand of applause. It was a lot of work, a lot of labor of love. I wanted to give a special shout out to Christine and to Patrick. The way that you capture those things on media, on camera, it's just such a wonderful. I encourage you, if you haven't already done so, to go back and view those videos. They're like a whole Vimeo channel for D2, and he is really elevated our media, my mass media communications to a level that we've never seen before. So congratulations, and thank you so much for what you do, and thank you to all of our teachers and our principals who even took out time to be here today, and we are just so elated. So I'll just make room for anyone else who has any last comments. Take them at this time.
Well, oh,
No, I was gonna invite our principals to come and brag up on their. Anybody willing?
We
Or
have
is
the
it
time.
too early?
it might
Yeah,
not be
you know
too
it.
early.
Huh?
Don't, there you.
I am Kim Noyes, proud principal at Centennial, and Centennial is off to a rockin' start this year. We actually are above what we thought our projection would be. We hit over 340 students this week, so we are so excited about that. We're also super excited to now have 3 first grades. We did recently convert an intervention position back to being a classroom teacher to help with class size reduction, and we are just on top of the world having 3.
Great. Thank you.
Next up, Ms. Dunson.
I'm Erica Tunson, the principal at Monterey Elementary School, and I'm so happy because for the first time in a long time, we have exceeded what we were actually projected to be. We are still small and mighty, but we really have had a lot of new students come in, and that's been a blessing because there's so much construction going around. We were waiting for it to pay off, and it's paying off. People are living in Mosaica, people are living around, and they are coming to Monterey. So it's been great. We've had a pretty smooth start, so I'm really happy about that. We have 3 great student teachers that Dr. Robinson is supervising, and we got to hire 2 of our student teachers last year. It's kind of our system, and they're doing a great job. So I'm just really excited. We have a great staff ready to go. The kids are excited every morning. And the one thing that we've heard over and over is from a lot of our new families, they never have seen teachers and principals greet the kids outside. And our kids come in through outside doors. So we're always outside in the morning, and all of our doors are manned by teachers coming in. So it's very nice because they've noticed that in other places they've been, other districts they've been, they have not had that. Had principals and teachers out there to greet kids in the morning. And so that's been nice. And it kind of creates community because we use those outside doors, wait around, and they get to be friends. So, and talk a lot in the mornings before school starts. So it's been really good. It's been a good start to the 24-25 school year.
As the next person comes up, because some of them are outwaiting each other, but I know Connor will come, I know, yes. I just want to share with the board, you haven't seen numbers yet because we're still getting them aligned and making sure that we're counting our friends right, but we are seeing kindergarten come back. We had a couple years where we were like, are there any kindergartners in Southeast Colorado Springs? Where are our people? But they're starting to come back and fill up those seats. So we're excited to see, we had a couple years of a lull of kindergarten and little people. They are coming back and they are in seats.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Jared Stanley, and I'm the intern at Stratton Meadows this year. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to be leading the Meadows through what I like to think is a huge culture shift. We have 47% of our staff is new. Significant when we talk about onboarding and starting to sleep at night again. So that's really exciting, but we're also over our projected enrollment by 20 kids, so I'm really excited about that. And I've been getting a lot of feedback from veteran staff and just people touring the building, and the consensus has been that there is a different vibe at the Meadows here, and that is what our leadership team has been striving to do, is just to change the narrative of what it means to be a Panther Cub at Stratton Meadows. So I'm really excited about our start, and I'm really excited about
that right there. I'm done. A lot of good things. I think one of the most things that I'm most excited about is pre-AP year 2. I've talked a little bit about taking our educational focus to becoming a premier pre-AP campus, where last year we did a complete overhaul of the classes that we offered, the focus that we had in those classes, and I don't know why I'm saying this on public comment. Hopefully on Monday our SPF stays where it is, because when we were working with pre-AP, they said expect regression, because even though they were doing Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, that's not pre-AP Algebra 1, pre-AP Geometry, pre-AP Algebra 2. But my admin team, teachers, they stepped up, they bought into the mission, excellence in every endeavor. But you know, this year it's focusing on Stallion Up, and we want to bring back pride to what it means to be a stallion, to wear the cardinal and gold. And I think that's evident in the collaboration. I'd be remiss if I didn't shout out Ms. Gallegos for letting us borrow Mr. Dixon for the first couple weeks here, because that is what D2 is about. It's about bringing in people that look like our kids, that resonate with our kids. That transition has been amazing. I foolishly signed up for this one as we're playing Harrison in volleyball right now. Shout out Mr. Williams, I saw you in the crowd. C team won for Sierra. I have no idea about the other ones, but you know, Pete was there, and you know, it's all love. Regardless, our kids are our kids, and so you know, excited to be in this district, excited to collaborate with these other amazing leaders, and Stallion Up, friends.
I will relent to my boss's peer picture. So Fox Meadows this year, we are doing a rebranding. So we have been the All-Stars since we came into the building in 2004. We are now the Firefoxes, which is a red panda. So we moved on. So we're focusing on rebranding and, you know, reimagining what we can be and what we can do. We're focusing on Be the Why this year, which is be the why your students come to school every day, be the why your friends come to school, be the why your teachers come to school. We've had an incredibly successful first week. We are a little below projected numbers, but we're looking to rebuild and rebrand and get back to being the Fox Meadow that we know we can be. Thank you, guys.
We have saved the
Dr.
best for
Handel?
last.
Your favorite part. I know, I'm like, wow. Good evening, I'm Dr. Angela Valdez, proud principal at Mountain Vista Community School. Some celebrations for us. We are right around 600 students in enrollment. We've got quite a few students who have choiced in out of district. We've got some waiting lists going. I'm really excited about that. We retained over 90% of our staff, and so we have hit the ground running this year. Our elementary classrooms, if you come, they are packed. However, we have highly effective teachers in our elementary classrooms, so I invite you to come and watch. I am incredibly proud of our students at Mountain Vista, and it gives me so much pride to be a D2 graduate and to be able to come back and, you know, say to our students, you guys are outperforming your peers in more affluent districts. Even though, you know, we've got high ELL populations, we have 20% of our students on an IEP, and our kids are they're rocking it. And I just couldn't be more proud about that. We have started a CTE pathway this year. We're the first middle school to do that. We've got 5 high school courses happening, 10 new electives. So the electives last year, we had a superintendent advisory committee meeting, and the kids had to choose like, hey, what's something you would improve about Mountain Vista? And they were extremely transparent about like the electives are boring. We're tired of having the same electives over and over. So we took that and there's 10 new electives, some of those being CTE focused. We're offering Spanish 1 as a high school course, trying to get our kids to getting that seal of biliteracy. And so I'm extremely proud of Mountain Vista. I'm so grateful to be part of this district, and thank you all for all of your support.
So the principals that are here can go back and brag about having the opportunity to speak and say great things about your school to those principals who weren't able to be here today. Or that the meeting's over early. But don't count on that happening all the time. So does anyone else have any final comments or anything they want to say?
I would just like to say that I've been able to be in some of your buildings, but I see several of the building principals whom I'm assigned to, and please forgive me for not visiting yet, but as Principal Tunson said, I have had the great joy of assigning student teachers who are requesting D2. So I've been running all around trying to find places for them, and I'm very thankful for Dr. Claudio and his department. But it is such a neat thing when they are requesting to come to D2. So I will be out and about. I can't wait to visit. And the schools I have visited, oh my goodness, quiet halls, instruction, packed classrooms, but things are just moving along. So pat yourselves on the back, and I'm so glad that you're able to sleep. So good job.
I will share from Rachel, Mike, and I have been in not all the buildings each, but between us, we've covered them multiple times. And one thing that's resonating that we're seeing is it's not like we had summer vacation. It's like we had a little Thanksgiving week off and we're back at it. We are not starting from day one anywhere. We're jumping in, we're back into instruction. We spent all last week in every level focused on relationships so that this week we could hit content, and we already had those relationships. But you heard from Aiden's report, Mr. Vargas is having the best start to his year. Linda Donaldson told me in 30 years of education, it's the best start she's ever had. And so our leaders are feeling supported and successful, which then tells you what's happening in their building. So super excited for what this is going to be for students long term.
I have, I have a comment. So on all the elementaries, and I love that our district has the focus, right? So I know that Truman Elementary has a focus on dyslexia, supporting students who live with dyslexia. And then, just lost my train of thought, but I love that there's a specialty, there's an expertise in our elementary schools that support the needs of our students. I think that is, I don't know that any other district is doing that because I don't have relationship with them, but I am super excited to know that we have expertise in our schools to support families and students. Thank you.
I think it's exactly what you said. It seems like we've been just on a break and we came back swinging. I visited a few of my schools. I got to make it over to see the Firefoxes, but that's going to be real cool. Y'all know sports is my thing. I like to cut up at the sporting events. And so I did get to see some of our Lady Stallions. You better be glad Misha's not here, man, because Misha would be in your ear right now. It was a good game though. it seemed like they had been practicing for quite some time. So it's muscle memory. We're getting back into it. The crowd was loving it. I love that energy. I do want to give a kudos to student support and the folks over at Mount Vista, because a parent called me and had some worries about 4 of their young people getting into class, and not even, I'd say 2.5 hours max. Those babies were off whatever waiting list and on the roster. So I want to give you guys a kudos, because Mama was worried, and I said, you know what? Just give them a moment. They are the pros. They will take care of it. And sure enough, I saw a text at the end of the day, and it said, "Thank you so much." I was like, I didn't do none of that. That's all D2, and that's all Mount Vista. So thank you to you, your staff, and student support, Ms. Sherbin. Yeah. So.
All right. We are at the end. Item 9.1, I just need a recommended motion.
Madam President, with no further business, I move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn the meeting by Mr. Williams, second by Mrs. Salazar. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.